So the RODE VideoMic GO II. At this point, you've probably watched a ton of review videos already, so this video is not going to be that. Instead, I'm going to tell you 5 things I haven't heard anyone talk about, but in a way that the everyday content creator can understand. So first off, I went and paid $100 for my RODE VideoMic GO II. Apparently, my channel's not yet on Rode's radar. And much like everyone else, I am totally blown away by it. In fact, all of the audio you'll hear in this video is recorded on the RODE VideoMic GO II plugged directly into my Sony ZV-E10 at an audio record level of 15. Yeah, 15. That's like the halfway mark for the Sony ZV-E10. And we're about like an arm's length away, like vlogging distance. And do I think that the RODE VideoMic GO II is the best microphone in its class? Yeah, I do. But there are some other things you should know before you purchase it. So first, it is a sensitive microphone. So what does that mean exactly? Well, in a lot of other reviews, creators compared this microphone to other plug-in power microphones in its price range, saying it is X dB hotter than this brand or Y dB hotter than that brand. But sometimes you need to have a concrete point of reference to really understand how these things all translate in practical use. So while the VideoMic GO II doesn't have any physical audio adjustments, when you plug the mic into your camera, you only have to set your camera's audio record level. I mean, you can plug it into USB and make some level adjustments, but that's a whole nother thing. There is a way that you can get more gain out of the microphone. I'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Now, I also have a RODE VideoMic NTG, and I have been doing a lot of test comparisons between the two, but there are only a few main things that you need to know. When it comes to sensitivity or gain, the RODE VideoMic GO II's inherent record level is about the equivalent of the RODE VideoMic NTG set to 8. Now, if you don't know, the RODE VideoMic NTG has a scale from 1 to 15, so 8 is pretty much in the middle. So what that really means is that you don't have to run your camera's preamp audio record level so high, which will give you a significantly cleaner signal than some other microphones in its class. In fact, this audio is totally unprocessed, so no noise reduction, no EQ, no compression, nothing like that. Point number 2. Does the RODE VideoMic GO II sound like the RODE VideoMic NTG? Well, yes and no. Right out of the box, it doesn't sound exactly like the NTG. That's because the frequency response is this compared to the NTG's frequency response, which is that. But what it does mean is on the VideoMic NTG, if you enable the 150 Hz high-pass filter, then the two mics sound really, really similar. So I've set up the two microphones right here in front of me. Both of them are running via USB into my computer. Right now you're listening to the VideoMic GO II, recording at a 65 level in Audacity. And now let's switch over to the VideoMic NTG. And now you're listening to the VideoMic NTG with the 150 Hz high-pass filter engaged. So under this configuration, these two mics will sound super similar, and you may not even be able to tell the difference unless you're wearing headphones or listening through high-quality studio monitors. So this should demonstrate exactly how close the VideoMic GO II sounds to its big brother, the VideoMic NTG. So if you have a lower voice like I do, you might sound different on the two mics. But if you have a significantly higher voice in a much higher frequency range, you probably won't be able to hear the difference. Which is why in some reviews that you might have seen, some people sound exactly the same when they do a direct comparison, and some people sound a little bit different. Point number 3. This one doesn't seem like a big deal, but in fact, I find it like super convenient and really thoughtful. Rode has imprinted small guide arrows on the top side of the microphone, which indicate exactly where the Rycote shock mount clips on. And while this doesn't seem like a big deal, it actually kind of is, because if you have your clip set incorrectly, you could be putting artificial force on the shock mount, which in turn could make it not as effective. Point number 4. The RODE VideoMic GO II will sound different when you plug it into your computer via USB, but in a surprisingly good way. So I'll admit it, I am kind of a snob when it comes to recording audio digitally. I do prefer to use a dedicated audio interface that supplies phantom power to some kind of condenser microphone. But USB microphone technology has come like so far, and this particular microphone is a great example of it. So when you plug it into your computer, in my case a PC, you don't necessarily have to use Rode Central to access recording features. Yes, if you want to tweak the sound of your microphone when it's plugged into your computer, you will need to do it via that platform. But you can see here, once I've plugged it in Audacity, it's automatically recognized as a USB mic. So in a situation like this, when it comes to the record level, you're doing that in your digital audio workstation or DAW. In Audacity's case, it's on this slider right here. Now, why am I saying that the VideoMic GO II is an excellent USB mic? Because of this reason. So now we're on the VideoMic GO II, connected via USB into my PC. The microphone is mounted on the hot shoe of my camera, and I'm recording this in Audacity at a record level of 100. So this is pretty much the maximum signal you'll be able to get without going into the RODE central software. So for a point of reference, I am about 40 inches away from my camera and microphone. So when we talk about sensitivity and how much this mic actually can pick up, at a distance of over 3 feet, you can still hear how clear my audio sounds. But more importantly, you can hear how little background noise there is with the record level in Audacity turned all the way up. And I mean, I'm really talking at a whisper. If I were to talk in a slightly louder voice, this is what that would sound like. And even then, the audio is crystal clear. So yeah, do I think that you will ever be this far away from your microphone, specifically when you're using it in USB mode? Probably not. But is it an excellent USB microphone? Well, you're listening, so you be the judge. Will I use this microphone for my professional voiceover work? Probably not. Could I use this microphone for professional voiceover work? Most definitely yes. And point number 5, if you are shooting with your camera and you need a little bit more fine control over the gain level, you can pair it with another device like the RODE Wireless GO to increase the gain. So by now it's pretty common knowledge that you can plug in a plug-in power mic into the transmitter of something like the RODE Wireless GO, then transmit that signal to the receiver, which you plug into your camera. But the RODE Wireless GO Gen 1 has 3 different settings, and the middle setting, or what they call -6 dB on the receiver, outputs about the same level as if you were to plug in the VideoMic GO II directly into your camera. Which means that if you set the receiver to the maximum output that it will send to your camera, you're actually increasing the gain of the microphone by about 6 dB. And if you've watched my video on gain staging, you know that that means that you can lower your camera's audio record level and get a much cleaner signal. And in my book, a clean signal makes great audio. Okay, so now I have the RODE VideoMic GO II boomed overhead, running into the transmitter of my RODE Wireless GO, going into the receiver of my camera. The output on the receiver is set to its highest output level. The mic's about that far away from my mouth, and the audio record level on my Sony ZV-E10 is all the way down to 5. So when we talk about things like gain staging and signal-to-noise ratio, this is probably one of the most ideal situations, where I'm able to add a little bit of extra gain to the VideoMic GO II that doesn't have an adjustment, and turn the preamp on my camera way down. So yeah, I think this sounds pretty good. And yes, I know my boom mic is in my shot. So hopefully you've learned something about the RODE VideoMic GO II that you haven't heard before, and it helps you make a decision in your purchase. If you have any specific questions, drop them down in the comments below. And I do have a few more videos featuring the RODE VideoMic GO II, so be sure to subscribe to not miss those. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again real soon.